Two people. Same generation. Same Australian suburb. One earns $220,000 a year. One earns $95,000. The $220,000 earner drives a new BMW, lives in a 4-bedroom home with a pool, takes the family to Bali every year, and makes $7 coffee part of the morning routine. The $95,000 earner drives a 10-year-old Corolla, lives in a 3-bedroom home without a pool, holidays in Queensland, and makes coffee at home. 20 years later. The BMW driver is worth approximately $700,000. The Corolla driver? Worth approximately $2.3 million. The same suburb, the same generation. Nearly 3.5 times the wealth, on less than half the income. This video is about why, and about the surprisingly ordinary way most Australian millionaires actually build their wealth. First, what does millionaire actually mean? It does not mean earning $1 million a year, it means having a net worth of $1 million or more. Net worth? Everything you own minus everything you owe. Your home equity, your superannuation, your investment portfolio, your savings, minus any mortgage balance, car loans, and other debt. The number that remains is your net worth. Income and wealth are not the same thing, and that distinction is the entire video. Now here's a number that genuinely surprises most people. According to the Credit Suisse Global Wealth Report, Australia has approximately 2 million US dollar millionaires. In Australian dollar terms, the number is closer to 2.5 to 3 million people. In a country of 26 million people, approximately 10% of the adult population has a net worth above $1 million. Australia is one of the wealthiest countries on earth per capita. Millionaires are not nearly as rare as most people imagine. Before we go deeper, drop your age bracket in the comments right now. I want to see where people are in their journey, and if you have a net worth estimate, drop that too. The more honest this conversation is, the more useful it becomes. So who are Australia's millionaires? Most people's first answer is surgeons, CEOs, property developers, lawyers. And yes, those people exist. But the research consistently tells a more interesting story. A significant portion of Australian millionaires are tradespeople, teachers, nurses, public servants, small business owners, accountants, ordinary Australians in ordinary jobs who quietly, consistently, over decades, did one thing differently. Here is what that one thing is not. It is not a stock tip. It is not a lucky crypto call. It is not a hot property. The high earner who spends everything, the BMW, the pool, the overseas holiday, the upgraded kitchen, is not building wealth. They are running on a very expensive treadmill. High speed. Going nowhere. The lifestyle rises with the income. The net worth barely moves. The wealth builder does something boringly simple. They earn money. They spend less than they earn. They invest the difference. They repeat this for 20 to 30 years. The gap between income and spending, invested and compounded over time, is the engine behind almost every ordinary Australian millionaire story you will ever hear. If that formula sounds familiar, there is a whole video on this channel about exactly why the gap matters more than the income. Link in the description. Stay with me though, because the how is where it gets genuinely interesting. Behaviour 1, they control the lifestyle, not the other way around. The Corolla driver does not think of the Corolla as a sacrifice. They think of it as a choice. Every dollar not spent on a car repayment is a dollar that gets invested instead. This is not deprivation. This is intentionality. And the ordinary Australian millionaire is often the least recognisable person in the room. Behaviour 2, they invest consistently and simply. Not stock picks, not day trading, not leveraged bets on speculative assets. Most ordinary wealth builders use a simple diversified ETF portfolio, a fund that tracks the Australian or global share market, and they add to it every month automatically, quietly, like paying a bill. The Australian share market has returned approximately 9 to 10% per year, including dividends over the long term. At a conservative 7% over 20 years, consistent investing compounds into something that starts to look extraordinary. Behaviour 3, they treat superannuation like the superpower it actually is. Super is the most tax-efficient wealth-building vehicle most Australians have access to, and most people barely pay attention to it. Contributions go in at 15% tax. They grow inside a low-tax environment for decades. And from age 60, they come out completely tax-free. Someone who starts salary sacrificing an extra $200 a month at age 35 could add $200,000 to $300,000 to their retirement balance. Most people ignore this and then wonder why they feel underprepared at 60. Behaviour 4, they start early. Or if they start late, they start now and they stay consistent. Time is the most unfair advantage in investing. A dollar invested at 35 is worth dramatically more at 65 than the same dollar invested at 50. Not because of intelligence, not because of effort, simply because of time and compounding. The ordinary millionaire understands this. They do not wait for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. There is only now and later, Earn later gets more expensive every year. Behaviour 5. They avoid consumer debt. Not all debt. A mortgage on a family home is fine, but car loans at 9%, credit cards at 20%, buy now, pay later balances. These are not financial products, they are quiet destroyers. Every dollar paid in consumer interest is a dollar permanently removed from your compounding engine. The wealth builder treats consumer debt the way most people treat a very persistent ex. They avoid it completely and feel genuinely better for it. And here is what this person actually looks like. They are standing in Bunnings on a Saturday morning wearing a 15-year-old pair of shorts and a free polo shirt from a work function in 2014. They are comparing two types of wood screws to save $1.80. They have $1.2 million in net worth. Nobody knows. Nobody would guess. And they are absolutely fine with that. The most interesting part of this is not the maths. It is the psychology. Building wealth is fundamentally an exercise in delayed gratification, choosing the smaller reward now for the larger reward later. The ability to delay immediate pleasure in favor of long-term outcomes is one of the strongest predictors of financial well-being. Not income, not intelligence, patience. The Corolla is an act of patience. The packed lunch is an act of patience. The ETF contribution on a Monday morning is an act of patience. And patience, unlike income, is available to everyone. The wealth builders also have a quietly different relationship with comparison. Most spending is driven by what the people around us appear to have. The neighbour's renovation, the colleague's car, the friend's holiday post. The ordinary millionaire has quietly opted out of this game. Not because they are antisocial, but because they have a different reference point. They measure their progress against their own future self, not against the neighbour's driveway. And their identity is different. They do not think of themselves as someone who might invest someday. They are an investor. The money goes out automatically. The portfolio grows quietly. Every pay rise is an opportunity to invest more, not spend more. The shift from thinking of yourself as a salary earner to thinking of yourself as an investor is perhaps the single most powerful change available to anyone at any income level. Now, the question that always comes next, but what are the actual numbers? How does a teacher on $90,000 actually get to over $2 million? Let me walk through it. A teacher starts at 30 earning $90,000. Take home approximately $68,000 after tax. A modest home with a $380,000 mortgage. $28,000 in super. They invest $400 a month into a diversified ETF portfolio. Their employer contributes 12% super, approximately $900 a month going into their fund automatically without them doing anything. They do this consistently for 35 years. By age 65, their super balance at a conservative 7% annual return is approximately $850,000. They personally contributed approximately $168,000 into their ETF portfolio over 35 years. At 7%, that portfolio is now worth approximately $560,000. Compounding turned their own contributions into more than 3 times what they put in. Their home, purchased for $500,000 at age 30, is now worth approximately $1.2 million after 35 years of modest growth. The mortgage is long since paid off. Home equity, approximately $900,000 or more. Total net worth at 65, super $850,000 plus investment portfolio, $560,000 plus home equity $900,000, approximately $2.3 million from a teacher's salary. No inheritance, no luck, no clever strategy. Just 3 wealth engines running in parallel for 35 years, superannuation, a simple ETF portfolio, and a paid-off home. The things that derail this journey are predictable. Spending every pay rise instead of investing part of it. Ignoring super for 20 years and then panicking at 55. Carrying consumer debt that quietly erodes the compounding engine. Waiting for the right moment to invest, a moment that never arrives. And measuring your lifestyle against the people around you rather than against your future self. There is a version of wealth that looks like what you see in magazines. Private jets, waterfront homes, tables at restaurants with no prices on the menu. That version exists. But it is not the version most Australian millionaires live. Most Australian millionaires live quiet lives. They have a good garden they tend themselves. They drive reliable cars. They cook most nights. They have time, real time, and options. They do not feel rich. They feel free. And they got there not by earning more than everyone else, but by needing less than everyone else thought they should. That's not a sacrifice, that's the whole game. If you want to understand the mechanics of how ordinary investing builds this kind of wealth, the $500 a month video walks through exactly what compounding does over time, and the net worth by age video shows where you should be at every decade. Both are linked in the description. Drop your honest reaction in the comments. Does this change how you think about what a millionaire actually looks like? I genuinely want to read them. Subscribe to Aussie Money Explained for a new video every week. See you in the next one.